Jaya Jaya Makhan Chor, Jaya Jaya Makhan Chor. श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, महाभागवत षडगोस्वामी की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna, I welcome you all who are representing the Bhagavad itself, the highly elevated devotees who have decorated this Katha, the devotees from International Society of Krishna Consciousness. I heartily welcome all who have gathered here from all the parts of the world through Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, all the audiences who are listening. I especially heartily welcome and am grateful to the organizers who have, with so much love and affection, arranged this beautiful katha to reveal and decorate the disciplic succession, especially the Kundanma and her sons. They
शैलेश भाई, हेमा माता, दीपा बहन, संदीप भाई, राधिका प्रीति माता, घनश्याम प्रिय प्रभु, नचिकेत भाई और हसु भाभी, आप सभी भक्तों का श्रीमद् भागवत कथा
I heartily welcome you all on the 5th day of this katha and our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam. So the daughter of Hema Mata ji, Deepa Mata ji, we hope and pray that she recovers fully very fast and she gets to perfect health. So with that,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So with that prayer, let's start the katha. So you see, so if even one time the Mahamantra is spoken and so like 20,000 people are listening, so how many mala we are able to do in her name? So this is how by drops an ocean is formed. So if everybody prays for each other, then there will not be any distress among others for others. And if we pray for others, then the Lord listens it very fast. So if we pray for ourselves, then the Lord doesn't hears that much fast. But when you pray for someone else, then the Lord hears very fast. So if you in your home you will have kids, and if your kid asks for I need this and like that, then you won't be that much happy. But if that same child says that if you can bring something for others, then the parent, so the parents feel elated and grateful, but usually it doesn't happen. We all have demonic quality in ourselves that me first, me first. But if a child asks not for himself but for the sibling, then the parents get elated and they fulfill the desire of both. So that is the reason I ask you, repeatedly request you that you pray for me, because if I pray for myself, then the Lord may not hear that easily. So that is the reason that you pray for me, and I will keep on praying for all of you. So let's pray for Deepa Mataji that she recovers fast and she's able to chant the holy names by the mercy of Lord herself. In this world, it's very necessary to become selfish. Although in material world it is not considered a good quality, but in spiritual world the philosophy is that it's important to be selfish, because unless we are selfish, we you won't be able to be paramarthi or charitable. So if we see, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this material world. Why? Because Krishna had a desire in his mind to understand the glory of and the taste of Srimati Radharani's love towards me. So that was the greed for which Krishna manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this material world. So the first thing was his selfishness. But as he came down, it became charitable, because as he was listening, he started distributing the Harinam to others. So if we have to be charitable, first we should be able to understand selfishness. Similarly, in the case of Lord Sri Krishna, why did Lord Sri Krishna manifested on this material world? Because he wanted to get the parental affection from the material world and to enjoy the mellow of separation. So, but although the motivation was selfish, but gradually he delivered so many people. So, if we talk about this material world, people say that we try to be charitable or we try to help others, but to understand that we need to be selfish. For selfishness, first we need to understand who am I. Until unless we understand that who am I, how can we help others, our basic understanding is only not clear. Today the katha will be about the kids, because Gopal Bhatt Goswami was a child-like, and he got the affection of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a child. And Thakurji, our Radha Raman ji, is also a child. Let me present Prahlad Maharaj's understanding in front of your screen.
स्वार्थ गतिं हि विष्णुं दुराशयाये बहिरर्थमानिनः अंधा यथांधे उपनीय माना तेऽपि शतन्त्र्या उरुदां निबद्धा। 5 साल का बालक इतनी बड़ी बात करे।
5-year-old child Prahlad has said such a deep
जो 5 साल के महाभागवत प्रहलाद ने बात कही, बहुत सुंदर बात। प्रहलाद महाराज अपने गुरु
he
षंड और अमर
is telling to his masters Shand and Amrak that the people of this material world, they don't understand na te vidu. Vidu means to understand, and what they don't know, swarth or selfishness.
चलो 24 घंटा कंफर्म है, अपना 24 घंटा तो अब मरने वाले नहीं हैं।
Oh Krishna,
ऐसा साइंस कहता है कि आपको छींक आए,
so there is a science that if
खुल जाती है तो 24 घंटे के लिए हार्ट अटैक नहीं होगा। तो भगवान ने 24 घंटा तो आप लोगों के सामने ही मुझे कंफर्म दे दिया है, फिर जानबूझ के छींक नहीं लानी चाहिए स्वाभाविक रूप से। खैर, तो न ते विदु, नहीं जानते हैं संसार के लोग क्या
So he says that people of this material world don't understand selfishness. So what does it mean in the eyes of Prahlad Maharaj? That first people should understand what is their selfish motive. So if we ask Prahlad Maharaj, what is the swa-arth or selfishness to understand, so the first and foremost is to understand Vishnu, and he means definitely. So there is no contradiction in that people need to understand or try to get Vishnu, because until and unless they get him, they won't be benefited at all. But they don't understand this. And because of that, what happens is, so because they don't know the goal of their life, they get entangled in the sense gratification, and blind is leading the blind. So everybody will fall into the well of sorrow, because everybody is just following blindly without understanding that someone is doing this, an actor or a politician is doing this, so we should also follow them. It's just blind leading the blind, because people don't understand what exactly is beneficial for them. So if you sit in a corner and just chant Harinam or think or contemplate about it, you will feel the pleasure of this world. But people don't understand this. Achieving material opulence is not beneficial for us, but because we are unaware what is beneficial for us, that is only Vishnu, we don't understand. And for following, we're strictly following each other. And in West, it's the weather is cold usually, so that is why people here wear jeans. But in a weather like India, where the weather is nice, it is not required to wear jeans, but still people are wearing jeans blindly in the hot summers of India. Aren't we following the West blindly, just wearing a necktie and a suit? And the American in West, if poor person gets some hole, etc. in the jeans, but people are blindly following and they're cutting their jeans. So, there is a joke circulating that one day a girl was wearing a torn jeans and a beggar said that this is my area. So you're not supposed to beg here. So this is what was predicted in the past, that people will forget the goal of their life and then they will start blindly following others without understanding the principle behind it. If someone is eating sweets, doesn't mean that we need to follow them and eat. If we are diabetic, we should avoid eating sweets. So but we are following blindly. So to understand or be charitable, we first need to understand the selfishness, or we should try to understand ourselves. And it's needless to say that all of our Goswamis were fully aware of what is the goal of their life, and they mention it in the verse present in your screen, that the best benefit for a person is to reside in Vrindavan. So,
श्लोक में पहली 2 लाइन में वृंदावन की महिमा बता रहे हैं.
So in the first 2 lines, the glories of Vrindavan are sung.
किलहंस सारस गणा किरणे मयूराकुले नाना रत्न निबद्ध मूल विटप श्रीयुक्त वृंदावने. ये 2 लाइन में षड गोस्वामी का स्वार्थ है.
So these 2 lines represent the selfish motive of Shad Goswamis, and the last 2 lines represent their charity. So to make you understand this concept, I took you or gave you the reference of Shrimad Bhagavatam. So what is the selfishness? To understand in that the importance of staying in Vrindavan. So Vrindavan is not as we see through our material eyes, that it is filled with so much people. So in Gujarati, it's a word Kalarao. So Kalarao means chirping, where a nightingale sings, where the swans and other birds constantly sing the glories of Srimati Radharani.
तो कूजत कोकिल हंस सारस गणा, मतलब ये गण मतलब ये एक नहीं है, बहुत सारे ग्रुप में है, इसलिए गण.
So they're not one, but they're in group. That is why we're using this word Gana. And Kulo, a collection of peacocks. So quite many nightingales, swans, peacocks, etc. are beautifully singing through their sweet melodious voice the glories of Srimati Radharani. The second line of the verse, with and the dust of Vrindavan, a teeny tiny particle of Vrindavan, is bedecked, bejeweled with so many precious jewels, like the touchstone, etc.
रम्यस्थान दिव्य चिंता मणिधाम रतन मंदिर मनोहर आवृत कालिंदी कुले राजहंस केली करे. क्या आचार्यों ने वृंदावन का वर्णन किया है. तो ऐसे परम.
So this is how beautifully our Goswamis have described Vrindavan. And our Goswamis stay in Vrindavan. That is their selfish motive. But apart from staying there for their own selfish motive, they are also doing charity. So first we need to be selfish to be charitable. And what is their charity? So they chant the glories of Srimati Radharani and Krishna for 22.5 hours. So we will imagine they chant the glories of Sri Krishna or Radharani like we do. But it's not like that. The word prabhajato stresses that they were completely surrendered to Lord Sri Krishna and Radharani, and so the word here is so accurate. They could have written bhajato, but they have written prabhajato, means they were completely engrossed in singing the glories of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And they used to search the holy places in Vrindavan. They were doing it for whom? We were doing it for the living entities to make these materialist people entangled happy. Muda means to make them happy. So that is the reason. And there is another interpretation that because they were trying to be charitable, they used to feel ecstasy and bliss. So the pleasure that we get by giving Krishna Bhakti or pure devotional service of the Lord to others, the bliss that comes with that is incomparable. So I bow down to such SadGoswamis. So 3 verses are pending. So let's take another one. And what they say further, what they used to do.
पूर्वक नाम गान नती भी कालावसानीकृतो निद्राहार विहार कादि विजितो चात्यंतन दीनो चयो राधा कृष्ण स्मृते मधु राधा कृष्ण गुण स्मृते मधुरिमा नंदेन सम्मोहितो वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो श्री जीव गोपालको। और क्या करते थे?
And what they used to do?
ये बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण शब्द है।
It's a very important word, Sankhya Purvak.
नाम, गान और नति भी तीन चीज करते थे।
So they used to do three things, these three things, and that they used to do Sankhya Purvak, or that means in order. So the first is they used to chant the holy names by counting. Secondly, they used to sing the glories of the Lord, that too by counting. And similarly, they used to bow down, and that too they used to do by proper counting. So sometimes people say that you count and chant, we don't do that, we do it continuously, but that doesn't mean that they are doing it with full concentration. So people will count when they render the thing beneficial or precious. So if someone gives us change, then do we keep it as it is in our pocket, or first we count? Why we are counting? Because we value the money. The people who are dieting, they measure their food.
कितनी तपस्या, रूप गोस्वामी की तपस्या कम है उनके सामने, ये कीटो वाले के सामने। तो बिल्कुल नाप तोल कर,
so they used to measure they measure the food. Why? Because they value their body. So a person who doesn't value the body will eat anything and everything. But the one who values, he counts and he understands that even prasadam should be taken cautiously. So the conclusion here is that we should count. So I asked quite a few people, but 80% people are unaware that in the bead bag there is a counter that after completion of one japa we
आप लोगों में भी होंगे। फिर हम क्या करते हैं, 4 मोती को एक बाजू रखते हैं, 16 को एक बाजू, फिर गांठ मार देते हैं।
So there are 20 beads. So
जवाब जो है ना, बस वो एक्स्ट्रा आते हैं, टूट फूट गए ना तो वो काम में आएंगे, ऐसा नहीं है।
So I asked people that why the counter beads are given as 20. But so people were quite unaware. They thought that maybe it's for a precaution, but actually the reason is that to perform 64 rounds, they are 4 extra. That means that the one complete set of 16, and then we get 4. So that means that we're supposed to chant 64 rounds. So it's very important to count. But some people say that we memorize the Lord's name in our heart, or someone say that we count on our fingers. But in the previous katha, we have understood the glories of Tulsi Maharani, and touching the Tulsi beads and chanting the holy name. So if we chant with the ordinary beads, that also is beneficial. But if you if you chant the holy names with the Tulsi bead, then it will be crore times more beneficial, million times beneficial. So we should try to be, you should try to be, we should make ourselves experts so that we can request our Guru Maharaj to give us the Tulsi beads. So I just want to share one more concern. I'm sure some people will not understand clearly, but let me share it with you that the Tulsi bead, which is so precious, we are putting our mobile, money, etc., in our bead bag where we keep our Tulsi beads, and when we are talking over the phone, the droplets are getting touched on the phone, and then we keep that impure phone inside our Tulsi bead bag, and we keep money in that. So this is internally and externally offense. I've seen quite a few people doing the same, and I thought to let me share my concern that you should think about this as well. So let's move to discuss SadGoswami. So they used to count while chanting the holy names, and they will they used to sing the glories of the Lord, that too with count. So let me give a count, a clarification, although I don't do it. Some quite a few people say that why we are keeping a count of how many kathas. So some people feel trouble. So after seeing this verse, we get satisfied that the names of the holy names should be big in accounting. So Govind TV is doing it perfectly. So it's perfect to count the Bhagvatam Katha. It's it's not to show off to people, but it's for our own understanding that how we are progressing. So almost all of our acharyas, they used to bow down in front of 1000 Vaishnavas on a daily basis. And they used to utilize their time and energy in chanting, in singing the glories and bowing down in front of the Vaishnavas, not in watching the smart TV or smart mobile. And apart from that, what they used to do,
महाबलेश्वर यहाँ वहाँ घूमना, विहार माने विचरण करना। तो निद्रा के ऊपर, आहार के ऊपर,
they had their control on their sleep, their diet, and their desire to roam around. they were not like us that even the alarm in our case gets tired of ringing again and again, but we don't get tired of postponing. So I have heard from senior Vaishnavas that if you're able to control your sleep, then 80% of the work will be done. So if you control your sleep, your diet, I'm talking about the devotees that sometimes people who take intoxication, we we sometimes hate them for that, but instead of disliking them, we should understand our position as well. Are we mm, are we not
दूसरों पर घृणा करने से पहले, दूसरों को दोष देने से पहले अपने गिरिबान में जाकर देखो कितनी कमियां मुझ में है.
So we should try to understand what is our position. Have we controlled our senses, enjoyment? So instead of pinpointing others, we should look inside and evaluate ourselves that where do we stand. But these SadGoswamis are great because they have controlled their diet, their sleep, and sense gratification. And although they have achieved such a feat, but yet they used to understand themselves as the lowest of the lower. That was their humility. And they constantly used to remember the Radha Krishna's mellows. So they, our acharyas, belong to enjoyers of Madhurya Ras. So they were always remembering the pastimes of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, and they used to be happy and attracted to them always. So so I bow down at the lotus feet of these SadGoswamis. So in this way, this is the glory of the SadGoswami. So rest two verses are pending that we will listen tomorrow. So today, whose turn is it? So today we are going to discuss Gopal Bhatt Goswami. First of all, Kavi Karnapur wrote a divine scripture and he disclosed that who came in Chaitanya, the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as whom. So that is mentioned in the verse in front of your screen.
Ananga Manjari Yasi Sadhya Gopal Bhattakah Bhatt Goswaminam ke Chir Ahu Shri Gunamanjari Ahu Shri Gunamanjari. अनंग मंजरी यासित, भगवान के नित्य लीला में गौलोक वृंदावन में या
in the eternal abode of Shri Krishna Golok Dham, so there is a Manjari whose name is Anang, who at that point of time, 500 years before, manifested as Gopal Bhatt. And some people refer to Gopal Bhatt Goswami as Guna Manjari as well. So let me clarify one thing to you. You might have heard about the names of the Manjaris is the SadGoswami. So that means that quite a few devotees have written about our Goswamis. Sri Krishnaraj Goswami has also written, Jeev Goswami has also written about them, and even Nabha Goswami has written about them. And they all have written according to their interpretation and understanding. So there might be some difference. So if there is a difference, we should not get confused. But the philosophy should be constant, it should be fixed. But the pastimes, sir. So there could be a variation in our understanding. But so as an example, that people might say that my dress is of pink color or peach, etc. But the person is same, that is LalGovind Prabhu. So some might have heard earlier and you're now listening some little something different, doesn't mean that they have said something wrong or I'm doing saying something wrong. So I just need to clarify this. So we should accept both the names, Anang Manjari and Gun Manjari as well. So the pastimes of Gopal Bhatt Goswami, I'm thinking from where to start. In India, there are so many pious places, and there is one. So in Tamil Nadu, there is a temple on the banks of Kaveri River, that is Tirunechellapalli. The pronunciation could be here and there because it's a complex name for us. So there is a city of Tiruchirappalli which is called Trichy. And it is called so because here Lord Sri Ramchandra killed Trishara. That is why it is called Trichy. And there is a beautiful river, Kaveri, flowing there. And so the Kaveri river separates this Trichy and a very holy pious place which is like an island, and that place is Sri Ranganath. Sri Ranganath. So let's go with our heart to Tamil Nadu Sri Ranganathan temple. The Ranganath temple is very glorious. In this material world, people say that our temple is greater than the others, but according to the Vedic injunction, the Sri Ranganathan temple is the greatest of all on the banks of Kaveri River. So the internal area of the temple is 4 miles. Wow. And it has a facility to accommodate 30,000 people at a time. Such facilities not even in big hotels.
मंदिर हम देखते ना बने हुए, ऐसे तो रंगनाथ मंदिर में गोपुर मतलब एंट्रेंस 24 तो गोपुर है, मतलब
so they have 24 entrances.
मंदिर जितने तो इनके दरवाजे हैं, मतलब ऐसे बने हुए गोपुर, तो 21 द्वार है, 24 गोपुर है.
So they have 21 entrances and 24 tombs on the temple. And the prasadam is also very glorious. Sri Ranganath Maharaj stays there. So let's have a darshan and take a short break, and then we will start. So we'll rejoin after a short break, because by seeing and listening it will be a great fun.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रभु जी, बहुत ही सुंदर श्रील गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी की यह कथा में हम आप सबसे श्रवण कर रहे हैं. और विशेष प्रभु जी जो अभी यहाँ पर हमने श्लोक ये जो सदगोस्वामी अष्टकम श्लोक नंबर 5 तथा 6 पर आपने जो व्याख्या प्रस्तुत की है, दैट इज बहुत ही अद्भुत है. और विशेष जो इसमें हम सबको जीवन में उतारने लायक तो सब कुछ है वैसे, परंतु जो आचार्य जैसे यू मेंशन के आप प्राय जो लोग प्रश्न करते हैं कि किस प्रकार भगवान का नाम है मन में लेना चाहिए, तो यहाँ पर आचार्य ने बहुत सुंदर यहाँ पर इस सदगोस्वामी अष्टकम में संख्या पूर्वक नाम जप करना चाहिए इसकी महिमा बताई. इस प्रसंग में आपने बहुत ही सुंदर किस प्रकार हमारे जो आचार्य हैं दैट दे यूज्ड टू चैंट संख्या पूर्वक और कीर्तन भी संख्या पूर्वक करना. साथ ही साथ जैसे हमारे जो गोस्वामी हैं इनका प्रण था कि प्रतिदिन 1000 वैष्णव को दंडवत प्रणाम करते थे, तो संख्या पूर्वक नमन करना, दैट यू मेंशन इन दिस कथा. और साथ ही साथ कुछ आपने सूची के विषय में बताया कि किस प्रकार जब हम हरिनाम जप करते हैं तो उस समय हमको उस हमारी जो बीर बैग है उसके आसपास में मोबाइल या लक्ष्मी इस प्रकार चीजें ना रखें, क्योंकि प्राय हमारे जो इस्कॉन संस्था है या if you want to please Krishna, the suchi is the one of the best thing, I mean one of the things that we have to look after. तो ऐसा कहते हैं ना स्वच्छता में लक्ष्मी का वास होता है, तो स्वच्छता से भी भगवान प्रसन्न होते हैं. तो प्राय जब भक्त लोग जो नए भक्त होते हैं when they visit Iskcon Temple, so they get surprised. Why? Because the suchi, I mean, जो वो स्वच्छता देखते हैं, the environment which they see, that what attracts them. So प्राय in our जो हम टेम्पल में देवी देवताओं के टेम्पल में देखेंगे सूची के विषय में ध्यान नहीं रखा जाता. तो भक्ति का एक और अंग है जिसमें जो भक्ति के 64 अंग है उनमें से एक अंग है सूची, which is one should look after. तो थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रभु जी फॉर लेटिंग अस नो दैट. एंड बहुत ही सुंदर प्रहलाद महाराज की जो शिक्षा पर आपने बताया कि किस प्रकार हम सबको स्वार्थी बनना चाहिए, और स्वार्थ स्व मतलब स्वयं को जानना चाहिए, और जो वास्तविक स्वार्थ है न ते विदुम स्वार्थ गति में विष्णु, जो वास्तविक स्वार्थ हम सबका जो भगवान विष्णु है उसको जानना चाहिए. और जब हम इस प्रकार भगवान विष्णु को जानेंगे उसके बाद जब हम परमार्थ करेंगे तो दैट विल बी इम्पैक्टफुल, और उससे लोगों के जीवन में परिवर्तन आता है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रभु जी. एंड बहुत ही सुंदर आज दर्शन है हमारे गौशाला के जो कि हम दर्शन करने वाले हैं. तो आइए सीधे दर्शन करते हैं एंड विल हैव दर्शन. थैंक यू. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So once again we are with us our Sri Radha Govind Goswami's Gomata, and आज हमारी ये जो दर्शन है इसके साथ कुछ विशेष है जो कि हम दर्शन करेंगे. तो हमारे देवलू के फैमिली और मेहता फैमिली है उनको हम धन्यवाद देते हैं विशेष हमारे इस प्रतिदिन जो गौ सेवा हो रही है उसके लिए. तो थैंक यू. और विशेष जैसे माता जी ने immediately informed yesterday only that Deepa Mataji is released. I mean, she's back from hospital. Like she was the immediate impact of praying devotees that she came back from hospital. So we are very glad to know that आप सब वैष्णव ने जो प्रार्थना की है उसके भगवान की कृपा और तुरंत घर पे आ गए हैं. सो एटलीस्ट भगवान की कृपा है. सो वंस अगेन थैंक यू. और साथ ही साथ हम यहाँ पर ये जो गौ सेवा दर्शन कर रहे हैं, आप सब हमारे साथ में जुड़ सकते हैं. और जस्ट एज वी आर एवरी डे सेइंग दैट भगवद गीता मैराथन इज गोइंग ऑन, और हमारे जो भक्त वृंद है स्थान स्थान पर जाकर इस प्रकार भगवद गीता का वितरण कर रहे हैं. और मैराथन में उन भक्तों को दे रहे हैं. जस्ट एज आई मेंशनिंग दैट विशेष उन होमलेस पीपल, ऑर्फनेज, तो वहां पर हमारे ये जो भक्त वृंद है विजिट किए हैं और बहुत ही सुंदर रिस्पांस रहा. बहुत सुंदर सुंदर भक्त, ये जो हमारे राधिका ओल्ड एज होम है जहाँ पर प्राय होमलेस पीपल हैं उनको रखा गया है और उनको भगवद गीता प्रदान करने का हम सबको अवसर मिला है. तो हमारे जो प्रतीक भाई फ्लोरिडा से, प्रतीक प्रभु तथा दर्शना माता जी, उनके परिवार ने यहाँ पर सहयोग किया है, जिसके फलस्वरूप हम यहाँ पर इन भक्तों को इस भगवद गीता को प्रदान कर पा रहे हैं. और भी अन्य भक्तों ने सहयोग किया है. सो वी कैन सी दैट ये जो भक्त है, आई मीन इनके जीवन में भगवान के संपर्क में आना प्राय मुश्किल है, because they are now in the, I mean they are near death that we can say. और होमलेस लोगों ने इसको छोड़ दिया, उनके परिवारजनों ने उसको यहाँ पर इस ऑर्फनेज में छोड़ दिया है अपनी बची कुची जीवन को काटने के लिए. तो हमें जैसे अवसर मिला है कि हम बता ही रहे हैं आप सबको that we are distributing at these places. So we have got wonderful opportunity by the help of these devotees that we are approaching them for giving them Bhagavad Gita's copy. और खाली भगवद गीता देना नहीं है, यहाँ पर उनको कीर्तन कराना, प्रवचन करना, भगवद गीता के महात्म्य को समझाना, साथ ही साथ हरि नाम को प्रदान करना. वी कैन सी दैट devotees are practically giving, I mean हमारे मोहन प्रभु जो हमारे साथ में जुड़े हुए हैं इस मिशन में, तो उनको धन्यवाद कि आपने इस सेवा में सहयोग किया, इस सेवा को आपने लिया है आपके हाथ में और इन सारे भक्तों को प्रदान कर रहे हैं. तो गिविंग देम हरि नाम एज वेल. तो this is what pleases Krishna. You distribute, Krishna says in Bhagvat Gita, no, that nacha tasmat manusheshu kaschin me priyattam. तो मुझे उस व्यक्ति से अधिक और कोई प्रिय नहीं है जो मेरे इस ग्रंथों को या फिर मेरे इस मैसेज को लोगों तक पहुंचाता है. So we are very grateful to our congregation devotees who are visiting to these places and giving them the wonderful books of Bhagvat Gita and giving them holy name as well. और उन स्थानों पर प्रोग्राम करना, उनको इंस्पायर करना हरि नाम लेने के लिए और हरि नाम देना. So thank you very much to our congregation devotees and thank you very much to the supporters as well, जिनकी सहयोग से हम यहाँ. तो आप सबको भी हम यही निवेदन करते हैं, यदि आप अपने स्थान में आसपास में इस प्रकार का कुछ स्थान है तो आप विजिट कीजिए या फिर कम से कम अपने स्नेही जनों को भगवद गीता अवश्य प्रदान कीजिए. इस मैराथन के टाइम पर एटलीस्ट भगवान की कृपा को प्राप्त कीजिए. और यदि आप इस प्रकार असमर्थ हैं अपने स्थान में या फिर आपके पास अवकाश नहीं है, तो you can join us so that we can contribute in your behalf so that we all can receive the blessings of Lord and Acharyas. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद एक बार फिर से हमारे इन वैष्णवों का जो कि इन स्थानों पर जाकर भगवद गीता वितरण करने में हम सबका सहयोग कर रहे हैं. और साथ ही साथ आप सबसे भी हम यही निवेदन करते हैं कि आप सब भी हमारे साथ में इस मिशन में जुड़ सकते हैं इस प्रकार भगवद गीता वितरण करने के लिए. So to distribute Bhagavad Gita amongst these peoples, as I'm saying that to the children's schools, homeless peoples like an orphanage and prisoners. इन स्थानों पर ये हम सबको अवसर मिला है. तो यदि आप अपने स्थान पर कर रहे हैं, that is well and good. If not, then please join somebody else. I mean, join someone at least, so that you can also be a part of Krishna Kripa. तो आप सबसे निवेदन है कि आप जरूर जुड़िएगा भगवद गीता मैराथन में. यहाँ पर भगवान की कृपा प्राप्त करने का एक सुंदर सुनहरा अवसर हम सबको मिला है. साल में एक बार यह समय आता है जहाँ पर हम सब भक्त बाहर निकलकर यह भगवद गीता ग्रंथों को वितरण करते हैं. तो आप सबसे हमारा ये निवेदन है, आप सब हमसे जुड़िए, भगवद गीता वितरण करें. और इस विषय में आप सबको निवेदन है कि आप हमें अप्रोच करिए इस विषय में और जानकारी के लिए. दैट इज on 756-754-5555. And with that, there is one more number where you can approach us. That is +1 201 215 0913. तो इन दोनों नंबर के माध्यम से आप सब से निवेदन है कि आप हमें अप्रोच करें. ताकि हम भी आप सबके लिए में इस प्रकार भगवत गीता को वितरण कर सकें. So thank you very much once again. और since this is the day 5th going on, so we are coming up with one more Bhagavad Katha in the coming days. So again sponsored by our Parmar family from Canada. तो श्रीमद् भागवत कथा श्रवण करेंगे एक बार फिर से प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से आने वाली 7 तारीख से लेकर आने वाली 15 तारीख से लेकर 21 दिसंबर तक. तो भारत के लिए जो समय है वो परिवर्तन हो चुका है. That is from 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and then from 9 a.m. to 12 noon for US devotees. So आप सब वक्त एक बार फिर से आप इस डेट को नोट कर लीजिए. हम आपको इस फ्लायर को भी शेयर कर देंगे ताकि आप हमारे साथ में बन सके, जुड़ सके आने वाले इन कार्यक्रम में. थैंक यू वेरी मच वंस अगेन. आइए श्रवण करते हैं शेष कथा को प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से. हरे कृष्णा.
श्री रंगनाथ भगवान की अब क्या है ना, भगवान को कथा सुनाने की आदत पड़ चुकी है.
So
जब तक
now we are used to
तब तक इतना रस आनंद आपको भी अभ्यास हो चुका है.
speak the katha in front of the Lord, and
अलर्ट होता है, तुरंत उन्होंने मुझे नोटिफिकेशन भेजा कि
until and unless the Lord is present, we don't like to say the katha. And Govind TV is very alert, and they immediately sent me this image of the Lord. So here, the Lord Ranganath Ji is sleeping on the Sheshanag. So this is a huge deity, and in the whole world there is no such a deity as this. And to venerate the Lord, elephant brings the water, and the cows and horses do the pure devotion service towards the Lord. So how was this deity manifested? So this is in the Satyuga, during the time when Lord Brahma manifested from Lord Vishnu, and he transferred all his knowledge to Lord Brahmaji and told him that you should now procreate the living entities. So this huge task was taken upon by Lord Brahmaji, and he said that yes, I will do that, but I should not get entangled in the material world. So please give me a deity to whom I can serve, and I can do the pure devotional service to them. So Garbhodakshay Vishnu manifested this deity from his own heart, and as the Lord is huge, so the deity itself is also very big, and he gave this deity to Brahmaji. Brahmaji took it to Brahmaloka, and he started performing the pure devotional service to the Lord on this deity. But in the Treta Yuga, there was a king Ikshvaku in the lineage of Surya dynasty. And Ikshvaku went to trance and meditate on Brahmaji, and he was asked by Brahmaji to come to Brahmalok and ask for whatever he desires. So there, King Ikshvaku saw that Brahmaji
महाराज इक्ष्वाकु ने कहा कि मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, ये आपकी जो डिटीज है, आपका ये जो विग्रह है, ये मुझे दे दो.
So Lord Brahmaji asked that whatever you want to have, you should ask me a boon. So the king Ikshvaku had another desire, but after seeing this deity which Brahmaji used to serve, he said that I want this deity, and Brahmaji had to give the deity to Ikshvaku, and he brought it to Ayodhya. And now let's understand who all have served this deity. So Ikshvaku ji did the pure devotional service, then the whole Ikshvaku dynasty in the disciplic succession had served the Lord Sri Ranganatha. Even King Harishchandra has served the deity, and their son Rohit, and so on. Till
भगीरथ के श्रुत, श्रुत के नाभ, नाभ के सिंधुदीप, सिंधुदीप के आयुतायु, आयुतायु के ऋतुपर्ण, ऋतुपर्ण के सर्वकाम, सर्वदा काम के सुदास, सुदास के सौदास, सौदास के अश्मक, ये सब लोग श्री रंगनाथ की सेवा कर रहे हैं.
So they all have served the Lord Ranganath.
के खटवांग, खटवांग के दीर्घ बाहु, दीर्घ बाहु के रघु, रघु के अज, और अज के पुत्र हुए दशरथ. महाराज दशरथ, त्रेता युग आ चुका था.
So in Treta Yuga, Maharaj Dashrath ji used to serve Lord Ranganath. So now let's connect this. Lord Ram went for exile for 14 years, and Ramji, after coming back from exile, he was serving the Lord. So Lord is serving his own form. So what happened? So the whole Ikshvaku dynasty or Surya dynasty was serving Lord Ranganathan. So one day Lord Rama organized to give the gifts to his servants. So first of all, he called Hanumanji and asked that what do you want? What do you desire? So Hanumanji told that I have worked very hard. So I don't want only one post. I want 2 posts. So there were quite a few people like us, and they were talking to each other that, see, there is so much selfishness that instead of 1 position, he is greedy, he is asking for 2 positions. So people who get jealous, there is
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. So we'll have a small kirtan by the time. Oh, yes,
No
Swami.
kirtan, only pravachan. और नकरा कीर्तन ही मत कराओ. आप प्रवचन बहुत अच्छा करते हो अमित नारायण प्रभु, तो कभी टेक्निकल एरर आ जाए तो आप प्रवचन करो. हम सब लोग तैयार हैं आपकी कथा.
You should not only just do the bhajan, but you should also do some katha. And we are ready to hear from you. So now Ramji was presenting gifts to everyone. So Hanumanji said that I don't want single position, I want two positions. Pad. So even Ramji was little amazed that Hanumanji is asking two posts. So Hanumanji says that I'm not asking those two posts. So the pad means I'm talking about your two lotus feet. I don't require any position, but I need your two lotus feet. So the people who used to get jealous, so and the people who are jealous, they don't even get ashamed. So everybody was being asked what post or position they desire. So lastly, the, it, it was a turn of Vibhishan. So Ramji said that you have surrendered quite a lot, and because of you I was able to win Ravana. So what do you desire? So Vibhishan ji said that your deity Ranganath ji, deity, I love it, and the deity that you have been serving since centuries. So please, if you can give it to me. So Lord Lord Sri Ram, who is tied and bonded by the devotees, he gave it to him. So like Giriraj Govardhan, Ranganath ji also told that if you want to take me to Sri Lanka, if you want to go take me from Ayodhya to Sri Lanka, then you should not take a halt. So in a flight, there are quite a few stops. So I don't want a flight that has stopped pitches. I want a direct flight. So to save money, sometimes people take the flight with too many stoppages. But if you stop anywhere, Lord Ranganathji said that I will not move ahead. So Vibhishanji said, okay, I agree, and I will take you non-stop to Sri Lanka. So he took Ranganath ji with him, and they were moving towards Sri Lanka. And on the banks of Kaveri, they saw this place. The demigods were amazed, and they were thinking that our Lord will go to Sri Lanka. This is not appropriate. So the demigods put so much weight in Vibhishan's body that, and he had to land to take some rest. And when he tried to take Sri Ranganathan again, so Lord Ranganathan said that what had you promised? That Vibhishanji was distressed and anxious, and so the demigod said that Lord Ranganath wanted or had a desire to stay here because we have given a boon to Chaudvarma king who had meditated on the holy name so that Lord Ranganathan could manifest there. So we have given him the boon that Lord Ranganathan will stay here. So it would have been against our wishes and desire. So please leave the Lord here and you come on a daily basis to serve the Lord here. Vibhishanji came to the Lord and said that you're not coming along with me to Lanka. So what Lord Ranganathan said? He said that there is, on one hand, there is your love, on the other hand, there is the boon of the demigods and the desire of the king. So he said that I will stay here in Sri Ranga, but my eyes will always be directed towards Sri Lanka. So in all the Vedic temples of India, the eyes of the Lord are all never towards the south, but only Lord Ranganatha is an exception where his eyes are looking towards south. Usually the eyes of the Lord are towards facing the north. So now what happened? So it's important to understand the Ranganathan Vigre or deity. So Lord Vibhish, King Vibhishan used to come daily basis to serve the Lord, and one day, like us, Vibhishan ji got delayed, and in South they do everything in a very ritualistic and timely manner. So Vibhishan ji was pulling his fast and accidentally he killed one Brahmana as he was anxious to reach fast, and he was half dead. So, so the Brahmana started to abuse him that he, the king, the brother of Dashrath, Rashna Dashrath, Ravana, and they started abusing and beating him. How come he comes here from Lanka and killed our Brahmana? So they were about to kill Vibhishana. So, but Ramji has given him the boon that you will rule Lanka for one kalp. So they were not able to kill Vibhishana because of Sri Ramchandraji's boon. So, as they were not able to kill him, they put him in the prison in Sri Ranganath. And on other hand, Ramji called Narad Muni and asked him that I haven't heard of Vibhishan in so many days. So do you have, can you just gather some news of Vibhishan? So Narad Muni gathered the news and went back to Lord Sri Ram so that there was a disaster that has happened and Vibhishan ji is imprisoned in Sri Rangapatnam. So Ramchandra ji himself came there and he convinced them and he gave him a principle that if a servant commits a mistake or an offense, that offense is not considered as the offense of the servant but of the master. So this is, so Vibhishan is my servant and his mistake is mine. So if you want, you can imprison me, but you should leave Vibhishan. So now this decided that we cannot keep Lord Ramchandra in prison. So we cannot imprison you, but we will keep you in our temple. So, since that day, in front of Sri Ranganathan Ji, Lord Ram is there standing in front. So, if you go to Sri Ranganathan temple, there is Ranganathan temple and deity and Sri Ram's deity as well. So, in 1568, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a desire after taking the sannyasa initiation. He had a desire that there are quite a few temples in south, so he went towards south barefoot and he reached Sri Rangapatnam. And as soon as he saw this beautiful deity of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised his both hands and started dancing incessantly. And after seeing the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the whole Sri Rangapatnam was mesmerized. And there was a great devotee of Belakundi village who was a follower of Sri Sampradaya, or who was in disciplic succession of Sri Sampradaya. So Sri Venkat Bhatt was doing veneration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh, he was doing the veneration of the Lord, and he was looking behind and looking for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was filled with so much mellow and he was dancing with tears in his eyes. So Sri Venkat Bhatt was attracted and he was thinking that when this veneration will be over, I want to meet this sannyasi Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Venkat Bhatt finished his veneration and the Sankirtan was finished, he bowed down at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said that we haven't seen you before. So are you here coming for the first time? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced himself and said, Sri Venkat Bhatt said that you have come from such a far, you have traveled so far, so you should come to my home and have prasadam. That is the responsibility of a grasta. This is what a grasta should do. So this is what I am telling you repeatedly, that the grastas should always invite Vaishnavas to their home to feed them. So he was invited to their home to have prasadam. And then the devotee bowed down at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said that from tomorrow Chaturmas is beginning and there is no other pious place than Sri Ranganathan to stay. So it's my request that you should stay for 4 months or Chaturmasya, you should stay with us. And this was the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has came all the way to bless their son Gopal Bhatt Goswami and make him a Goswami. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the invitation and started staying at the home of Venkat Bhatt, and he stayed there for 4 months. And daily basis, he used to take them to Kaveri river and they used to walk together and they used to go to have the darshan of Sri Ranganathan. And in these 4 months, the Venkat Bhatt's son was 11-year-old Gopal Bhatt used to massage the holy feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He used to serve the food to him and used to eat the remnants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had one servant whose name was Krishna Das. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, they cannot talk directly to him. So they used to get the service for a few moments, and they used to do the same. And they, this child Gopal Bhatt Goswami used to sit with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant and ask and inquire about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishnadas used to tell the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he was born, how as a Nimai Pandit he had done so many miracles in his life, and how he took the sannyas. So after listening to all these pastimes of the Lord, this 11-year-old child, his heart got a burning desire that, that I saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi. I wanted to see him as a Nimai Pandit or a cohort. I want to see Nimai Pandit. Gradually, the burning desire of Gopal Bhatt Goswami to see him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was in his heart for 4 months, and now the time came that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking the leave. So on the last day, so before that, on that night before, he came and started to massage the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was in trance thinking about the Nimai Pandit manifest form of the Lord. And he realized that he could see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna and he could see him as Nimai Pandit. So that all the desires of Gopal Bhatt Goswami were fulfilled in this manner. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this child very parental affection to him. And now that it was the last day, so he shared one philosophy to him. He said that I the form that I have shown to you is not only darshan, it's my mercy. So in this material world, it's very difficult to get the mercy. It's so by begging, you will not get the mercy of the Lord. You need to do something. And, and the person who is giving doesn't realize that he has given, and the person who gets it doesn't even realizes when he received it. So the mercy is developed, or mercy is given to the person who is filled with faith and who is completely surrendered. So he said that if you get the mercy of a great Vaishnava or a sadhu, sometimes it happens in our life that we get the mercy of a guru or a great Vaishnava, then you should keep that mercy with caution and care, because it's very difficult to keep that mercy eternally on ourselves. So now that we are able to listen the katha or say the katha is the mercy of great Vaishnavas and sannyasis. So you should keep it with great caution. So that if Gopal Bhatt asks that how we will be able to digest and keep this mercy eternally on us, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the conclusion. So he said that this mercy can only be in the pot that is filled with humility. Only humility can preserve the mercy. So if the humility is broken, or we become
थोड़ा सा ये भागवत गीता श्लोक प्रवचन आने लगा, गुरु कौन है? गुरु तो गलती करते हैं, हम तो उससे भी महान है.
so as soon as we get mercy, we become filled with pride and we forget the mercy of the Guru and we start counting the mistakes of the Guru. So when we leave our humility and when we are filled with pride, the mercy of the Lord leaves us. So the Vaishnavas, the sadhus, give mercy, but it's our responsibility to preserve that mercy. So this 11-year-old Gopal Bhatt said that I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to come along with you. So a person who has got the remnants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who had served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has to be detached from this material world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you are too small and it's your responsibility to serve your parents. So here also, like Raghunath Bhatt, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Gopal Bhatt the same thing. And he said that after you get relieved of the responsibility of your parents, at that time, you should come to Vrindavan and I will meet you in Vrindavan. So you need to remember this statement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promised Gopal Bhatt that after you are relieved from your parental obligations or a familial obligation, you should come to me and meet at Vrindavan. Till the point you have the responsibility of the parents, till that point your uncle, you should take initiation from him and you should understand and learn Bhagvatam from him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, and as he has said, the same manner Gopal Bhatt used to serve his parents, and under the guidance of Prabhuji he was getting the education. So one day Prabhuji was leaving Sri Rangapatnam and went to Kashi Varanasi. As Kashi Varanasi was filled with Mayavadis or materialist philosophers. And Prabhuji himself came under the influence of these materialists and he himself became a materialist. So the uncle of Gopal Bhatt Goswami became materialist and his name became Prakashanand Saraswati. He became a great master of materialist Mayavadic philosophy. So we can connect the katha that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi and he met this Prakashanand Saraswati, who was there surrounded by thousands of his devotees, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting in a corner filled with humility. And Prakashananda accused Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you should sit in a corner but you dance and roam around and chant the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I went to my Guru Maharaj and they both have the same Guru. So said that the Guru Maharaj told me that you are a fool, you cannot understand the Vedas. So Mahamantra is the conclusion of the Vedas, so you just chant the holy names. by this Mahamantra. And as I started chanting the Mahamantra, I started losing my senses, and I went to my Guru Maharaj and asked him, what kind of mantra have you given to me? It's so powerful, it's so miraculous that whenever I chant your name, I lose my senses. And I am getting detached from this material world, and my eyes are overwhelmed with tears. And my Guru Maharaj stamped that this is the perfect, this is the fruit or result of chanting the holy names. So a person who chants will get the ultimate mercy, and he will lose their attachment towards the material world. So because of that, I roam around like a madman chanting the holy names. So Mahaprabhu was a touchstone. He touched the heart of Prakashan and Saraswati and converted him and made him into a devotee and sent him to Vrindavan. So, when this Prakashan came to Vrindavan and became Prabhupada, and he gave the conclusion that
कृष्णात परम किमपि तत्व अहम न जाने. सच कहूं तो कृष्ण से बड़ा तत्व.
He concluded what we sing in our Mangalacharan, that I cannot understand the glories of the Lord completely. So he became the Braj Rasik, or he was engrossed in the mellows of Vrindavan. And he is the one from whom Gopal Bhatt Goswami got initiation. So in between he lost his track, but after meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came back on track. So as soon as Gopal Bhatt Goswami was relieved of his parental obligation or the responsibility towards his parents, he, after their death, he came to Vrindavan. And what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has promised? That you come to Vrindavan and I will meet you there. So Gopal Bhatt Goswami came to Vrindavan to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there he couldn't find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he saw Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had sent. So Gopal Bhatt Goswami was in trance and calling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami wrote a letter to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that your disciple is here and he is remembering your name. So now let's figure out the love that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu towards Gopal Bhatt Goswami. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 4 things to Gopal Bhatt Goswami that were the closest. He gave his cloth, his robe, dori. He gave 4 things from Jagannath Puri with a letter to Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And when he received this parcel, he kept it in his temple and he started to serve them. So Rup and Sanatan Goswami came that this humility is a great thing. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hasn't sent it to give veneration to them. So these Bhagvat Gita, Bhagvatam, which devotees buy and keep it in the temple, it's not just to venerate but to study them as well. So Rup and Sanatan Goswami said that you read the letter that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sent. that you should wear these and you should take sannyasa, initiation. In this manner, he was given all these 4 things and he started singing the glories of Lord Sri Krishna. And in the letter, it was written at the end that you should preach pure devotional service of the Lord, that is bhakti. And you should take a Shila from Gandki Nida river and you should start serving there. So Raghunath Bhatt was singing the glories of Bhagavatam. Sanatan and Rup Goswami were doing the service to their respective deities. So Gopal Bhatt Goswami was asked to bring Shaligram, Shila, and start serving them. So Gopal Bhatt Goswami went to Gandki Nadi, a river. So you might be aware that from Narmada river we get a shivling, and the Shaligram Shila from Gandki river is the original, other else are just for the practice purposes. So, but how do we get that Shaligram? So, if you go to the Gandki river, and if you are a devotee, and if you keep the leaf of Tulsi, so the Shaligram Shila will manifest. But our bhakti is not that strong and pure. So we should get Shaligram Shila from our bona fide spiritual master. So Gopal Bhatt Goswami went to the Gandki river, but he was not aware how to get the Shaligram Shila. So there was a person who was singing the Sankirtan. So a huge Shaligram Shila manifested, and Gopal Bhatt Goswami got this, and he came back to Vrindavan. And on daily basis, he used to serve Shaligram Shila and was chanting the holy names. On the day of Narsingh Chaturdashi, a wealthy merchant came to do some charity in Vrindavan, and he gave clothes for the deities to Rup and Sanatan Goswami. And he came to Gopal Bhatt Goswami and gave the clothes for the deity. He said that my deity is a Ladduji. How will I dress him? So he said that you keep it, you can use it in the service. So he kept the clothes with him, and he had a burning desire that the beautiful deities of Rup and Sanatan Goswami, and he was attracted to the face. So he had his own mood to first. So he had a laddu. He was serving them, but he was attracted to face of one form and the feet of the other form of the Lord. And he had a burning desire to serve the Lord in this form. So he was in trance and thinking that when you can manifest from a pillar for Prahlad Maharaj, and you can take so many different forms for a devotee, then can you not manifest for me? And while thinking that, he was crying and he fell asleep. And it's mentioned that in Vaishak month, so Chaturdashi, he got the clothes, and on the Purnima day or the full moon day, on the morning he got up and he saw that Shaligram Shila became a deity of the Lord with beautiful eyes, and his face is like Govind Dev, his belly is like, and feet like Madan Mohan. And he called everyone from Raj, and Sri Rup Sanatan named him as, he told that Lord is very merciful towards you. So they named him as Radha Raman, Sri Radha.
तो इस प्रकार से भगवान राधा रमन का प्राकट्य हुआ.
In this manner, Sri Radha Raman manifested. So there are quite a few pastimes. There is one I want to share with you. So his birthday used, or manifesting day is celebrated till date. So on the day of Radha Raman's appearance day, Gopal Bhatt Goswami used to decorate the deity with flowers, and he used to serve prasadam to the Vaishnavas. But all this service, they need money, so he didn't have money, so he took some money as a loan from a merchant, and he took the loan and he celebrated the Radha Raman festival. And after that, he thought that now I have to repay the loan. So the next day he has to give the money. So, but he didn't have the money. But how can the Lord let a devotee's name be spoiled? So Radha Raman came himself and paid to the merchant. And Gopal Bhatt was ashamed, and after a few days went with money and said that please forgive me for coming late, but please take this money. So the merchant said that the loan has already been paid. He said that it might be a mistake. So the merchant said, no, it's not a mistake. A boy came and he repaid the loan. And he said that who was this guy? He said that he described Radha Raman. And Gopal Bhatt Goswami was overwhelmed with tears that my Lord had to come, had to take so much pain for me. So in this manner, Gopal Bhatt Goswami used to serve Radha Raman. So he is serving Radha Raman and he is following the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he gave the society very beautiful, important scriptures. So he gave Sat Kriya Sar, that is how the sanskara should be performed for or during the pregnant women. So
वहाँ की संस्कृति और वेद, तो इन्होंने षोडश संस्कार पर ग्रंथ लिखा.
He has written a book on the 16 sanskaras of Vedic injunctions, as they come from south and they're expert in that. So he wrote Sanskar Deepak, Satkripya Sardipika, and then Gopal Bhatt Goswami wrote his interpretation on Krishna Karnamrit, written by Bilva Mangal Thakur. And named it as Krishna Vallabhika. He was so much surrendered that we will listen later. During the time of Jiva Goswami, there was a great difficulty for our Vaishnav community. We had to prove who is Radha and who is Krishna, and for that, Jiva Goswami wrote Shad Sandarbh, which was based on the interpretation of Gopal Bhatt Goswami, which were presented and established Radha and Krishna as the Lord. The Hari Bhakti Vilas book is 90% compiled and based on Gopal Bhatt Goswami's literature. He continued the disciplic succession, and in 1643, on Krishna Paksh, on the 5th day of the lunar moon, he left this world and he gave the Lord Radharaman to us and such beautiful scriptures. He went to his eternal abode. He manifested as Anang Manjari or Gun Manjari in the eternal abode of the Lord. So on the 5th day of the Katha, we've heard about the life, time, or pastime of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. So you all have heard with so much patience and faith. In India, it's night, and in Australia, it's midnight, but still, people have sacrificed their sleep, and you all are great. And please bless us that as you all have faith to listen to Bhagavad. Similarly, even we build or develop our faith in Bhagvatam to hear from the Acharyas. And I thank you all, especially the Mehta and Devlukia family. I thank Kundan Ba, Girish Bhai, Rekha Ben, Mayur Bhai, Meenakshi Ben, Shailesh Bhai, Hema Mata, Deepa Ben, Sandeep Bhai, Radhika Preeti Mata, Ghanshyam Preeti Prabhu, Achiket Bhai, and Yeshu Bhai. I thank you all, and we specially pray for the daughter of Hema Mata Ji that she gets well soon. Let's end the session with Jai Jaikar on the 5th day of this Bhagavad Katha.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण के श्री कृष्ण चंद्र